McDowell's supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay By Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
Good afternoon to you, everyone. Thank you so very much for tuning in to and staying with Real FM Radio 91.3 North and 91.5 South, as well as NBC Television, Channel 120 on the Flow Cable TV service. This is The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer, alongside Alton Jaquan Joseph, our technical operator. Our program airs weekdays from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on the above-mentioned platforms. And, my friend, this is our final program for the week, as you know. So, I'm going to be giving you a place to make your comments and your calls, your messages. I always say I'm going to read more of the Facebook Live messages, and I almost never seem to get around it. I'm sure yesterday was a crowded, packed program. Intense, a lot of firepower. We're having Terence Fenelon and Miguel Favre on with me at the same time. And this was followed last night by a very, very, very high energy, high octane. Can I help you? With Richard Frederick and Albert Fregis. And maybe you want to make some comments on that as well. I tend not to, like you say, poach on what others are doing, unless it's something that is of such widespread importance that you have to go. So if Richard is dealing with that aspect of the rental of, Shasney properties for government offices, state agencies, and so on. I prefer to let them continue with it and see it through and so on. But if you want to comment on it, then please, by all means, do so. We are one entity. We are one effort here at MBC and Real FM. So, your comments on that would be welcome. Let me just say that I come here this morning with a bit of joy. I arrived in the nick of time, not only because I always try to watch the MBC lunchtime news first, but today there's cricket going on. I think it's the second day of the second test match between the West Indies and England. And, this is the kind of thing that brings joy to my heart. West Indies still trailing last I saw. They were still about 130 runs behind England's 420 plus runs, on the first innings and all of that. But at least I saw some fight. I saw some consolidation. I saw some greater confidence. And, they were not doing too well at first. For 100 runs, they were already 3 wickets down. But, last I saw, they were about, 4 or 5 wickets down. But they were, they were batting well. There's a guy who was almost 100. He had almost reached his century. Maybe he reached it already. I don't know, but this is what I like to see about West Indies. When I see, you just have to understand that we've been in a period of decline. There have been little fits and starts about turning the corner and rebuilding and getting back there and so on. We've seen, but it hasn't been consistent. It hasn't been sustained. So maybe the quality and the confidence just isn't there. But what I like to see is determination, grit, fight, stubbornness, this thing there. Although, what was it, yesterday, just before lunch, just maybe one over, a couple balls to go before lunch, I saw one of the West Indies batsmen play an atrocious shot against a spinner, give his wicket away. And on top of it all, England are batting, and you see Jason Holder, of all people, in the slip cordon, putting down a dolly regulation catch of Shamar Joseph, that guy and his sensation. I can imagine how disappointed he felt, but you might say Holder redeemed himself. He took a couple other brilliant catches, sharp chances and so on, to his wrong side, to his left, etc., etc. So, I got to say this. I like to see fight in West Indies. And even if they go on to lose, right now they can't lose by an innings. I don't think they will lose by an innings and so many 114 runs like they did in the first test. I don't think they're going to go down like that. So even if they lose, which there's a greater likelihood that they will than they won't, or at least they might perform well enough for a draw. It doesn't look like they're going to wrestle or take that Botham Richards trophy and so on. I doubt it. It can still happen, I'm not, ruling them out. But that's what I like to see, the kind of grit, the determination, the stubbornness. We ain't giving up. We ain't giving away our wickets for nothing. We ain't going down without a fight. And that's what I'm seeing at this stage of the second test match. Love to see it. The only other thing I wanted to talk about, and I really mean I'm going to open the phone lines early today, because I think yesterday, because of the, even though we went into extra time, as I like to call it, having 3 people on at the time, and we were really going intensely and so on, the 3 of us. My initial intention was to allow Miguel and Terence Fenelon to take the lead and to just go on. And so I thought I would just slip out of the studio and let them do their thing together as people who are co-hosts and so on. But then I said, no, let me stay with them. In fact, they said, no, you're not going anywhere. But you get drawn into it. It's the kind of thing, given who I am, what kind of discussions I like, that sitting there and making a minimal, unheard of, unthinkable, no contribution was just not possible. So it maybe didn't leave you a lot of time to express yourselves. The Wasco water emergency, the restrictions on the use of water that Wasco announced several weeks ago, it is still in force. In fact, I was thinking that with all the showers that we've been having, so maybe, our our catchments and aquifers and reservoirs and so on have been sufficiently replenished, that maybe Wasco would be on the cusp of announcing a review or relaxation of the measures. But it's not really Wasco that makes that decision. It's a body known as the Water Resource Management Authority, the Water Resources Management Authority, I think, WRMA. I kind of mix that determination, and I have learned from good grounds that next week they will be having a review of the water emergency, of the restrictions and so on, and they will be making an announcement as to whether they have been relaxed. I had said I'm not going to call Wasco about it, because no sooner did I decide this morning I'm going to call them to ask about it, and then I woke up going to use water, and there's no water in the tap. So I said, I don't really know what's the cause of it. Maybe, since the hurricane and other issues, maybe even the rains we've been seeing from recently, they might be causing some problems in terms of clogging of intakes and that sort of thing. So it is possible that those very things, the rain that I'm counting on, would be recharging the groundwater and the surface water and all of that. It could be causing problems of its own that then would delay any announcement or any decision to relax the water restrictions in the emergency that was declared some time ago. So next week, I don't know the exact date, WASCO and WRMA are expected to make announcements to that effect. All right. Anything else that I need to say today? Let me just read a couple of messages that I got. Let's see that. Let me see. Good afternoon to Marie Frederick on the Real Issues WhatsApp group. She says, good afternoon, Shelton. Who is your guest today? You spoiled us yesterday. Still waiting for the two to show up. All right. We may not have that in the not too... they're the ones who call me and say, we're available, or we're going to swing by today and so on. So anytime they want, I've told them that they're welcome, and I'm going to, make space for them and so on. All right. So it could be any time. I could have them. I could have other guests as well. But today being the last program of the week, I wanted to give the opportunity for people, our listeners, our viewers, and so on, to come and to express themselves. Now, where's that message which I saw a while ago? Someone wrote, interesting revelations by RF last evening concerning the rental of office space by Shastny to himself. Can you at some time explain the process of selection? Now, can you message me and say what selection you're talking about? Is it the selection of the landlord that you're going to be renting space from and so on, who makes that determination? I can't see anybody else making the determination than Alan Shastny as Prime Minister, as Minister responsible for this, that, and the other. Remember the cluster cabinet where he was in control of everything. So if that's what you're talking about in terms of selection, I don't think there's any bidding process. I don't think there's any tender. Government is looking to rent 3,000 feet of square feet of space, to house offices, whatever, and people are invited to tender for that. I don't think so. I don't think it ever works out that way. What was happening in the United Workers' Party was not transparent. It was plain nepotism centered in an authoritarian leader who openly said that the people who are with him must submit. They must learn to submit totally to him and so on. And so these decisions he was making, maybe the only other person in that cabinet who was given the empowerment, who was given the authority to make decisions and so on, was probably the Economic Development Minister, Guy Joseph, who seemed to be a minister above other ministers in the Shastny, and probably Ezekiel Joseph was the kind of person that maybe Shastny can't mess with as he wants and so on. I rather suspect Ezekiel has a bit of a head of his own. He has a bit of a stubbornness, a determination. He wouldn't make big noise and fight with people, but he looks like the kind of guy who would dig his heels in if he believes strongly in something, etc. But when somebody is the Minister for Finance, my friend, they're holding a lot of cards in their hand, They're holding a lot of cards. They can withhold allocations and disbursements to ministers who they feel are being stubborn, who they feel are not playing along with directives and what they want them to do and so on. A Minister for Finance, who is also the Prime Minister, the Chairman of the Cabinet, can really mess up people, including his fellow cabinet members, if he wants to. He can have them like puppets on a string and pull their strings and twist them in that way, bend them in that way, and do a lot of things. And I don't see Alan Shastny as the kind of person who would hesitate to do that sort of thing. But I'm not really sure about your question. Maybe you can elaborate a little further on that. I've gotten a lot of messages from people who have been asking about a former government minister who got mired in some scandal pertaining to alleged him being blackmailed or whatever by a young woman or two young women, and pictures of himself in compromising positions of nudity and sexually explicit things that he was exchanging with them and so on, etc. We know the story pertaining to Eubaldus Raymond going back several years. But I've just kind of been asking myself, why is this matter being brought up again? Why is Dr. Raymond participating in some kind of documentary and interview to go back into this thing? Because I cannot see how it is doing him any favors. Honestly, I cannot see how Baldus Raymond is doing himself any favors whatsoever to go delving back into that thing. And if he said there was some kind of mediation agreement, there was some kind of, why is he going back in that? Honestly, I cannot understand. But I think we have a call, and we'll take calls. As anytime you call, I'm going to answer. I'll interrupt whatever it is I'm saying. I don't have much to say today, but I'll come back to this Baldus Raymond thing. However, for now, good afternoon to you, caller. This is The Real Issues. You're on.
Good afternoon,
Hello.
Miss. Yes, good afternoon. You hear me?
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon. I listen to you well. You don't hear me?
Hold on. Just hold on. Hold on for us a second. All right. Are you there?
Yes, I did.
All right. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just mentioning something and then you didn't understand. So that means I do a clarification in it concerning the shock bridge.
The shock bridge.
Going to go Grizzly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I say, in future, they will have no bridge to go Grizzly because it's a metal bridge.
It's a what bridge?
The bridge they have there is a metal. This is the old-time metal they used to have before.
The shock bridge.
Yes.
But to me, that bridge, that bridge was done not that long ago.
All
that
the
bridge.
time they have done it by adding concrete to the surface, but the structure is a metal.
Mm-hmm. So what is wrong with the metal? Are there not other metal bridges?
The foundation of that bridge, nobody knows because on top is the continuous surfaces with concrete, and the bottom cell, they don't know how the bottom strong, and every time water coming past on top of it. And that you remember that looking like a sum to between connecting, so that is for connecting Grizzly to Castries. Why they try to build that bridge in future faster enough for that for Grizzly and Castries not to be separate? That's what I just mentioned.
But can I ask you this? How do you know those things about the foundation?
Okay,
and no, hold on. We're having a conversation. Let's not rush it too much. I mean, how do you know those things about the technical specifications of the bridges? Are you somebody who's into that area of engineering and those things? Because I've never heard anybody say what you're saying before. Well, go ahead.
Because why they don't say it? Because I myself traveling that road every day. That's I'm going to the bus driver. And I remember that bridge sink in front of us, and we had to pass on the side of it. And after a time, the surfaces is so William to asphalt it and concrete in the middle and surface it's asphalt. And I see that's the only road that's connecting Grizzly to Castries. And it's a metal bridge. And when they build the roundabout, I don't know what interest the roundabout was built, but the building separate Grizzly to Castries. And you see, the roundabout, if they would build like the same way they build Bois and Bonte, build the bridge in two phases, they will build the roundabout on top of it. That will be one of the nice roundabouts you ever have in that area. But they build it on the side and they leave the bridge connecting to Grizzly. When you pass on the bridge, what's on the side of the bridge, that's a metal. If you watch it well in future, if that's separating anytime, I don't know what the status of it is. But Grizzly will separate and people have to pass in all the way in Union to connect into Grizzly. So I don't know how much money they have in place to see that vision done in future. Another one again, if you understand, tell me, or if I have to continue, I have another point again to
No, go ahead.
All right, next one is, that one is Africa, right?
That one is what?
That one is for Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you see, we in St. Lucia are lacking agriculture. We just, I don't know what is the mindset we are lack of investing in agriculture. And let me give you an example what happened in Africa where they try to give in every farmer's tools. If the farmers have the right tools and they get the right produce, they must get market to it. And the Ministry of Agriculture in St. Lucia, I don't know what is the issue, but it's not pushing agriculture 100% in case they have a collapse in the first world country of importing. Most of the food we import is of the high preservatives, and we have a high sickness in St. Lucia like cancer, diabetes, and all that. And all them you see everywhere is a dry food chain. And these days they suffer. They say the lack of blood. You know why that causes that? Because we eat a lot of food that dry. So our body will lack of the energy to provide more blood. And that is my contribution for today. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody ever heard anything close to what he is alleging about the Shock Bridge? I know that road was closed for a long time while they were working on the bridge and so on. After the Bois d'Orange Bridge, the next bridge that was to be dealt with was the Shock Bridge and so on. A lot of work has been done on it, and so I don't know what he's talking about. Like, it's not up to spec, and it's a ticking time bomb waiting. Anyway, we have another call on the line. Hello. Okay, did you give me a thumbs up? I wasn't understanding about the thumbs up. All right, I thank you. I don't know. I just have never heard that point of view from anybody else, including people. And in that time, I've spoken to John Peters. I've spoken to Honorable Stevenson King. I've spoken to others. Miguel, we know, was always on the ball with information, from the Ministry of Infrastructure. And I just never heard anything suggesting that the Shock Bridge is on tenterhooks of, it might go bad and go down at any time. So I don't know, and I don't know how you deduce that information by passing on the bridge. So many people pass on bridges every day as commuters, as motorists, as passengers, as minibus drivers and so on. And I don't know that is enough for you to be able to extract that kind of information and knowledge about the bridge. Do we know about the state of the Sanssouci Bridge just because we drive on it every day? I don't know. I didn't quite get that part. Onto the matter of agriculture. And, comparing St. Lucia with Africa. I mean, does my caller really understand the vast difference between the African continent and the island of St. Lucia? I mean, the kind of geographical expanse and acreage and hectareage and resources that you're talking about. One of the things that works against agriculture, and we've been talking a long time about food sufficiency and self-sufficiency in agriculture and so on. It is something that's a good thing to aim at, but realistically we have very small land masses. And when you have such a small land mass, there is something they call arable land. That is land which is suitable for cultivation. Now granted, there may be more land under cultivation than what the percentage of arable land is given. But it's not suitable. People are farming on slopes. People are farming on marginal lands. People are getting by with fertilizers, which in the long run have their own problems and so on. Many, many, many years ago, I was told that the percentage of arable land in St. Lucia was 10%. And that's a long time ago. It may have become a lot less. But let's take that call. Good afternoon. Real Issues.
Yeah, good afternoon, Shelton. How are you?
I'm doing okay, and you?
Okay, thank you. Shelton, last night I listened to Honorable Richard Frederick with that rental places which the former Prime Minister and his family are the shareholder of the company. And when I looked at the names of those persons, I realized the name, the father, which is Michael Chasney, St. Lucia, and the other, Alan Chasney, and the sister are
Miami.
Miami, Florida. The address, their address in Florida. So I wonder what is that? And he should be a St. Lucian, but I see Florida as the address of those or the company shareholder of the company.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that, and what St. Lucia is thinking? Yeah, where is the money going, and what do we have from it?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything illegal with having a business address registered outside of St. Lucia. I don't think that in and of itself. And I don't think there's any law that says that whoever you rent from must be domiciled in St. Lucia, or it must be a St. Lucian. There might be St. Lucians who own property, real estate and so on, and they are domiciled or resident or have their business address or whatever in another country. I don't think this is the issue. I think the issue is one of nepotism and the using of influence and control over the decision making of government and the state and so on to your own advantage. You understand? Now, this morning I heard Yadi and Jaim, and they were even suggesting that it is corrupt. Now, you can't reach a decision or make a pronouncement on corruption, which is something which has its own legal definition and ramifications. But when you have somebody, even before Allen became Prime Minister or entered politics, his father was chairman of what was known as NDC, which became Invest St. Lucia. You understand? So you're talking about a family that has a lot of influence and a lot of ability to sway things in a manner that might be to their own benefit and so on. Far less when the son becomes prime minister and minister for finance and economic development and what all those kinds of things. You understand? I mean, all those things must be taken into account. And when I heard it, I said, we may not be hearing from the special prosecutor. Special prosecutor not going to be someone who will hold a press conference and engage the public. But I would assume that a lot of those things would be forwarded to the special prosecutor for scrutiny, for attention, and to make a determination whether those things are worthy, whether those things are deserving of some further examination and scrutiny. I don't know if you understand me.
Shelton, I wanted to say something about my credit since they have given me a limit of 1 minute left.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
There is some other statement in agriculture I wanted to discuss, but sorry that I don't have any more credit since we'll have for what.
All right, if you feel like, call my phone 286-5586.
Yeah.
So when I see your number, I'll call you back and I'll use my phone to patch you through, okay?
Okay, yeah. Right.
286-5586. We have to go for a break right now, but if you do that, I think your points are very interesting, and I'm sorry I interrupted you, but I'll bring you back on my dime, okay?
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, do we go for the break now, or do we have time to take another call? Let's take that call, and then we'll go for the break, okay? You know already how it goes with the calls. Hi, caller. Good afternoon. The real issues.
Good afternoon, Shelton. Good afternoon, Jaquad.
Hey, what's up?
I'm good. I've been doing a bit of running around today, but I just happened to tune in briefly, and I heard you just mention the Sanssouci Bridge, so I wanted to ask what was it that the caller said?
Well, no, it wasn't Sanssouci Bridge. Somebody calls and says that they did some surface work on the shock bridge, but the foundational aspect of the bridge, they did not upgrade it, like the same metal that was there from long time, they have it, and that if anything, and I said, that's the first person I've heard saying that. I know the extensive rehabilitation work was done on the shock bridge.
What happened is that I think one of the culverts, I believe, was compromised, but there was no serious work that serious damage to the foundation of the bridge, so there was some reinforcement done. But the caller should also remember that the shock bridge, the car street to Grocery, the Shelton Highway rehabilitation will also include the shock bridge.
Okay.
So again, you know what I've said before about, I mean, as much as we need all the roadworks done, the repairs, I always cringe when we have to go to potholing works and road repair works on the Grocery Highway, because that road should have been rehabilitated a long time ago.
Yes.
We all know that story. So I think for us, the bridge, I believe our engineers, it's within the Department of Infrastructure. They have full knowledge of the technical aspects of it and how much the bridge can carry, because obviously we do traffic load assessment where these things are concerned. But at this point, the bridge is taken up to traverse. But why would we go spend so much money now on that bridge when it's tapped to be part of the entire rehabilitation of the shock bridge?
Okay.
Of the Grocery Highway. But
the piecemeal approach,
it'll cost us more in the long run.
Right.
But Shelton, I just wanted to comment on the revelations last night. It's not nothing new,
Yeah.
I mean, what Richard would have added with some government offices that we didn't know about. But it was always known that Michael Chastney was making a killing of renting to government offices, particularly while his son was prime minister. But I did not know, I wasn't aware that people didn't know that most of the businesses in Michael Chastney's name, his wife, his daughter, and Alan Chastney's names are on there. And a prime example was the Rihanna and the Prince incident. I'm ashamed for you and that kind of thing. When we dug into the registry, you saw the company's registry, you saw that Alan Chastney had either 51 or 49%. I know the ratio was 51-49% shares in Coco Palm while he was prime minister. So I believe that whole thing about I'm ashamed for you with Rihanna, he realized, or someone may have said to him, but you cannot do that. And he tried to, all his bravado and he's always right thing, he tried to embarrass Rihanna with his nonsense. But Alan Chastney has been operating by a conflict of interest, with various conflicts.
Does that mean that because he has shareholding in the company, that it's conflict of interest if he is not involved in the day-to-day management of it? Because I think there are things called blind trust, and there are things like, you know, in other words, you don't need to divest your shareholdings.
The questions need to be asked now, Shelton.
Okay.
Did he divest? Number one. And number two, if he didn't, was the Integrity Commission aware? Did he declare that to the Integrity Commission?
Okay, well,
that said that the Integrity Commission and the board members at the time would have to be taken into account as well.
Yeah, I don't want to accuse him of engaging in any conflict of interest until those questions that you are raising are asked. Some investigative person can find out from Integrity Commission records whether there was a declaration made, whether he, you know, pulled himself.
Well, I can tell you for sure. Do you know how many requests were made to those same government ministers to file a declaration?
Yeah.
I cover that story. Now, judging by Alan Shatney's history, I will go out on a limb and say I believe that there was a conflict of interest, 200%. And let's not forget Sarah Flood Bobra and her passport covering business inside the passport office as minister was responsible for external affairs.
This one really sounded a little bit demeaning to me, for someone to occupy an office of minister and to be engaging that. I was away when I heard of that, and I said, to know, even apart from conflict of interest, I wonder whether there is sufficient self-respect not to engage in behavior that is demeaning and that takes away from the dignity, you know, of
Shelton, you remember, did you have her excuse? Her excuse was that Sir John was a farmer and he was prime minister.
Yeah.
That's what the woman said. Anyway, Shelton, let me give you a call at some space. Have a good day, have a wonderful weekend, and to your viewers and listeners.
You as well, my friend. Thanks a lot. All right, we overdue for that commercial break. Let's take it, and then when we come back, the caller who was on wanted to make a point, but said his credit won't allow him. I'll call him back on my phone and try to patch him on, as well as other calls that we'll be taking. This is the Real Issues final program for the week, Friday the 19th of July 2024. We'll be right back.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boost your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22 next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
Staying with the real issues on this Friday, the 19th of July, 2024. Our first caller was making, well, maybe our second one, was making some points and then he had to cut off because of the his subscription at the time and so on. So we have him back on the line again. So go ahead, I have you on patched onto live on air now, okay?
Yeah, okay then. Thank you for that, Shelton. Well, the point I was making, the previous caller made some point about agriculture, farming, and things like that. I am in support with her because what I'm seeing here in St. Lucia, whereas the Ministry of Agriculture should try to promote and to have the farmers to plant things like we have the ginger, the turmeric, and encourage them to plant these things like the sorrel and some of those things which the health requires, and I am not seeing much of that displaying in here. So I think the minister should encourage people to plant these things because they are very necessary, so as to help our people from buying those stuff which are not necessary as we can have them here. I think that would be a very good thing for if farmers in St. Lucia start planting more of the turmeric, and I said the ginger, and also the sorrel. So that's one of the things I said. I think that should be very good if they would promote it, because now I see in a long time we had this how we call it, castor.
When Maquisti.
Yeah, castor oil has been so expensive now, and people, they are just forgotten about it. When I saw the price of the castor oil and how they sell it, I regretted myself because I know my mom was someone who was very much involved in making this. And she had that somewhere in the bag somewhere. And I felt, this need to be thrown. I burned it out. And I said I lied to my mom and I told her that it was termite that I saw that would come into that. And she called and I said, termite, don't tell me that termite can go into castor oil. I said, yes, that's what happened, Mom. And now when I look back and see, and we didn't want to do it, but now I think farmers, the young people, should go back into that, trying to plant these things. I know in Dominica, the people, everywhere you pass, you'll see people that's like gold for them. And in St. Lucia, I'm not seeing the people putting the kind of effort to grow these things, which makes a lot of, that's something.
Well, let me ask you, why do you think that the farmers are not responding to the call to grow more and to cultivate more, etc., etc.? Do they have some impediments and challenges, water scarcity to irrigate, land availability, lack of market to sell what they have produced, and so on? Why do you think they are not stepping up to respond to the call for them to grow more, to step up the cultivation and so on?
You see, Shelton, in my opinion, it's not the question of land, because if we plant the turmeric, the ginger, that you do not have to have much water to mine the things, to grow it. Even the soil. It's just that people nowadays are not into this farming thing because they can go to the stores, to the shop, and get the stuff that they want. And which they're not going to the natural. They want those that has been being treated as it's not real.
It's the packaging that makes the difference. For example, my friend, I can tell you, growing up in the countryside, there is nothing that is easier to grow in big quantity than the turmeric, the chichima. That grows very. Ginger, you might need to give it a little more love and, to pluck out weeds and so on, and to plow the land and so on. But chichima, once you see it takes hold, all over the place. And I'm saying, look, I'm hearing so much about how turmeric is good for inflammation, and you see turmeric capsules and you see turmeric powder being sold at the health food shops and so on. Turmeric is so easy to grow. It's ideal for our climate, our land, our soils, etc., etc. Why don't we go into a turmeric industry where locally grown turmeric? Maybe we don't have the capsule making factories. I doubt it, though. We do have people who make capsules here and so on. But then why don't we have all the drinks that you have, just like you have sour sop, whatever? Don't you have a turmeric drink, that somebody can just come and twist off the cap and drink it, and they know they drank some chichima, whatever that is good for inflammation and cooling their inside, whatever it is. But I just find the problem is we are stuck at primary production. We don't move on to the value added of something that people can go to a health food, because people like the thing that they can buy a bottle, they can buy a package, they can buy a sealed package and so on. What do you think of that?
Well, all this makes sense, Shelton, and we should be doing that. Let me tell you, you mentioned sour sop and things like that. I can give you a history of sour sop. My mom was a herbalist, and my mom used to do so much with the sour sop leaf and the sour sop itself for the people that she would serve. I can recall as a child, I got burnt. And it was the sour sop, the inner whitish of the sour sop my mom took to place on the burn area.
Right.
And that cured me. But I cannot use sour sop now because I think of that thing, but it is so good, it's so powerful for burning and these things.
Not only that too, I have heard that sour sop is one of the top herbal and plant treatments for cancer, that it has something called graviola or whatever, I hear a lot of that, So why are we not making greater use of it, since we are importing so many things? Even there is something that is supposed to be great for prostate cancer, which is something men very common. I read so much about something called saw palmetto or something like that. Saw palmetto is great for prostate cancer. Until to my shock, how do you get saw palmetto? Saw palmetto is something that you derive from the seeds of Latanier, Gwen Latanier and so on.
Yeah.
You take and you soak and you whatever, and you can get saw palmetto. And I'm saying, okay, we have so much prostate cancer in St. Lucia. Why is not an effort made to develop those kinds of industries? Now, it may not be scientifically sound. The doctors might not, they might, frown on that and this sort of thing. But the fact is, we're still importing so many of those things, The health food shops have so much of it. People are still buying it because if not, they would go out of business. If it's not a saw palmetto, it's a graviola, is a turmeric and so on. And these are all things we can produce quite easily in the country,
Yeah, these are the things that people should go. I mean, soursop won't take much, not need water. These are things that can go on dry land, but you plant these things because they're very good. So that could help our health because everybody's health conscious these days, and we should be growing these things so that we could help our generation to be a healthy generation. So I don't know, but the government will have to try. In my belief, that the government should try to push those things, like I said, the how we call it again,
Gwen McQuisty, castor seeds, yeah.
Castor, yeah. To go into that because plant it. It's because that's money, and they can make money. A small little bottle for $60. Just imagine.
Yeah.
So we can grow that here. I am told that people ordering that overseas and come and sell right here in St. Lucia, whereas we can grow it and think our country of it. So I think the government should think about it if they're hearing me and try to push this thing as one of the things that should be very good for our country. Shelton, I have a problem, but I not really want to expose it on air because
this is the real issues. Once it's nothing where you're not maligning anybody or anything, if it's a go ahead. If it's a public matter of public concern, go ahead.
It's public. I have a situation where the road where I live, whenever it rains, we cannot traverse in that area at all. And I'm trying my best to see if government could do something about it for me. From 2006, after Proud left this area, because Proud cut the road. This was a very strong road, but Proud came in and make some arrangement and cut the road, and they never finished it because the government had changed. And these things have stayed there, and I've tried every government that has been in power to see if they could do something in this area for me. But it seems it's falling all the time on dead sand. So I don't know what to do and what to say about it again. But
where is the area of that road that you are talking about? Is it what area exactly are you talking about?
If I have to be honest to you, Shelton, you know the area more than I'm talking about now. You know the area more than myself.
What area are we talking about? Because not you and I talking to each other. We're talking to an audience.
No. Yeah, well, the area, well, I thought you'd have mentioned the name for me.
Okay, so what is the area we're talking about?
We are talking about PI, the ancient PI road. I live somewhere inside there. And,
okay, so who, apart from you, is it an area or neighborhood where there are other people living there? About how many other people or households would you say are in that area?
I think that there are about 10 houses or more than that in that area there. Yeah, there are houses there. There are people living in there.
Okay. I believe somebody sent me some pictures of that area. I don't know if I remember it was you. Is it not something that maybe they can get some, how do you call it, some loads of, premix, gravel, whatever? Because it seems like the holes in the road, when it rains, they fill up with water. And they're becoming deeper and deeper and so on. If, for example, as a neighborhood, you all were able to get some loads of, the name, pumice, whatever it is, to just level out the roads and maybe pass a roller on it, or do you think that can work for the time being to give relief and maybe the drains can be lifted, or does it really need government intervention? I'm just asking, since it's only 10 households, there might be so many other areas that have problems and so on, and they have not yet been dealt with. To divert resources for 10 households, I'm saying, how much intervention do you think it needs to give some relief of the problem?
Shelton, Sheldon, to be honest with you, it needs government because the drainage is the most important thing about it. If it had drained, then the water would not start where it is, and that could be a real problem. But we need a long drain that's about 200 or 300 feet of drain that need to solve this problem because it's in the flood there. There's where the water starts, and then that is the problem.
All right.
So government must come in there.
Okay.
We need help in there.
All right. What have you tried in terms of government and so on? Have you tried your representative, parliamentary representative? If it's in PI, I think that forms part of what? Labrie or Choiseul Saltibus? Which one?
Choiseul is Choiseul.
Okay.
Sheldon, I told you in the beginning from 2006, when Crowd cut the road, this thing changed. And I've asked every other government which has come into office,
including Mr. Bradley.
To be honest, yes, I think I consulted Mr. Bradley once about it. Yes.
What was his response? Because he is the MP, he was in government 2016 to 2021, and he remains the MP to this day, and he receives a set of money they call constituency development funds and so on. I don't know if he can help with that regard, but you need to bring that to his attention. And if he can't do it, it's his job, whether or not his opposition or party he is, it's his job to stand up and to make some noise on your behalf in the parliament, to write letters, whether to the Minister of Infrastructure, to the Prime Minister. Members of Parliament have to advocate on behalf of their constituency and their constituents. Do you agree or not?
Yeah, I agree with that, and I know that. I like I said, I've spoken, but for this year, this term they have not contacted him on that issue. But when he first came, I spoke to him about it. I met him once at the PI Community Center, and I discussed it with him, and he said he would see what he could do about it.
Mr. Bradley Felix was actually helping to lobby and to advocate against plans, I think, to establish a quarry somewhere in Labrie, which is outside his zone, if I'm not mistaken, in Safi. You understand?
Yeah.
He was actually helping people there to make some noise and to advocate against the establishment of a quarry. I'm not saying he's right. I'm not saying he's wrong. But I'm saying if you can step outside the boundaries of your constituency, out of your lane, into somebody else's zone, because you feel so strongly about something that will affect residents, whether or not he is Fnabo, whether or not he is Labour, whether or not he's in government or not, Mr. Bradley Felix is the elected member of Parliament for Choiseul and Saltibus. There is a problem affecting residents, 10 households, whatever it is. He should demonstrate some interest and some care and concern for what is happening there. But I think I may have heard or I received a message from you yesterday, if it's the same person, and a number was given where you can call infrastructure and ask to speak to the complaints department. There is also an infrastructure office in Viewfort, which is closer to you, that you should try to call them and bring this matter to their attention.
Yeah, I think I did call this morning, but the engineer was out, so I have not been able to have a discussion with him. Sheldon, in the case, it's a kind of a frustrating thing that once this gentleman talking to you, they will try their best not to see the road ever been done because of his involvement in development, seeing development happening in the entire community of Choiseul. That is his life. He has fought to see the better development of PI, but as for him, there is no way, because the more they tighten the looses around my neck, they will prefer to see that way. So I'm not saying that my government which is in power now will do so, because I'm just trying to get top base with them, because I'm not here. I'm working overseas and I'm here for a few days and I've not been able to meet any one of these people, but I have spoken to the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Education. But what she can do is, she is not the district rep, so she can only try to see if she can get along with the Ministry of Infrastructure or the Prime Minister or whoever to see if there can be something, because the people around here are not happy and they are being think because of me. Maybe let us keep this gentleman down there, and that so that is politics, and I know the politics very well. So therefore I I'm now calling upon my government, because I am about to leave, to see what they can do, because too much. Any little rain, the little rainfall last night, you can't go through. You can't walk through my area right now. If you have to go to the main road, you cannot walk around. You have to make a shortcut to go over.
Okay.
On that. So
All
I
right.
mean, it's just unbecoming to see these things, and no one, like you said, if we find some way of bringing pressure on all the things and organize the road, not even that I've seen happening, because like I said, I've spoken to him when my government was in power. I asked the secret in the time that Mr. Theophilus was there. Right?
Is there also a problem of overhanging trees overhanging the road and all?
No, there are a few trees, not the problem of trees, because the trees are being cleared most of the time, but it's not trees causing it's just the water coming from the higher area and just start in the middle of where, it's very low.
Okay.
So this is the area.
Okay.
But if the road is graded from a certain point and get to the Balambush end, the water will run. They need to come and see what needs to be done around there, Because
Okay.
I mean, I'm not an engineer, but I'm very much with what can happen.
Okay.
So I don't know what can be
Yeah,
done.
what you should do, the number that you called in Vieux-Fort, which the engineer was out, I think persistence, I don't know how much time you have left, but you should call again. And the other option is that I think you and the other residents in the area can come together and draft a petition that all of you all can sign. I think each household, let's say there's about 5 people per household, whatever, let's say of 50 signatures and so on, to say, oh, look, we are having this issue there and we would like it, looked into and so on. I think you need to do that. Pull out all the stops.
Well, of course, the idea is very good, but after I speak today, I think everybody has heard and they know who is talking, and I don't need to get my other neighbors to come into that, because I stand for them around the area, because they are doing whatever they're doing during election because of me, and the complaint still comes back, and if that is not done, certain things will happen. So I'm saying that I don't need to go to them and ask them to sign and to do all these things. People around there knows, if I'm saying a lie, that the people there are not many people besides me living in there. You understand?
Well, then your district rep is supposed to be standing up for all of you all, and are you satisfied that the district rep is taking up this matter?
I've been out of the country for about two years. I spent 2 years out. From after the election, I left and I have not been able. So I cannot say that my district rep would not see if he could do something about it. But I've not spoken to him this term. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
But
all right then.
Yeah.
Well,
okay, then.
My best wishes to you in getting this matter resolved. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, those who are in power, let them do whatever they have to do.
Okay.
Okay, sir. And thanks for the time that you give me so that I could express my dissatisfaction in what is happening around and what our government, Minister of Agriculture is not doing, and the pressure that it's putting to the people, so that we will have a strong nation and we have those things around. So thanks for the time that you kept me on air, and I wish those people will hear me and they will do what is necessary to see what can happen for our country. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so we'll go into our next commercial break, and when we come back, we'll be taking more calls and hopefully get a chance to read some of the messages. But Jaquan says, no, we have a call on the line, so we'll take that call. Good afternoon, Real Issues. Yeah, okay. He says the call is through WhatsApp, so it takes a couple seconds to load, and it's doing so right now. So, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon. How do you do?
Hey, I haven't heard that voice in a long time.
Yeah, grandma taught me something. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth. So most times you have to listen more than you speak.
What did they lock you up for? You just don't want me to know that you've been locked up somewhere and so on. What did you do? They just
man. Nobody can hold me hostage.
What's in your mind today?
Man, I was surprised of what Richard have discovered. There are more hidden things in there that will have to come out. You haven't you all realized? Each time Richard spoke about how many of his father's businesses that were rented, he never uttered a word because he always knew that Richard was making a mistake. He never got the right figures. Hence the reason he never said a word. People, had Alan won election, he had already mashed up everything in St. Lucia so they could take over. If you ask me, it takes a lot of prayers that St. Lucian escaped his wrath. And hence the reason, Mwefashi. Yes. It is not his Creole that's improved. No. Because that one was instilled into his head. Mwefashi. Can you believe that? He has been collecting money from the taxpayers that are crying, striving, bringing them out in Pampers, in what I cannot mention on TV, to come and support him. I always said he's not bringing them out to support anything for themselves, but for him. Look one of it. There are more things that are hidden that we have not found. I'm telling you. But Richard is a penis. He will get it. I don't know what took him so long to get these. He will get the rest. And we need to have these things rubbed in his face each time he comes to Parliament. And the rest will be done for election. Because I'm telling you, St. Lucians, don't be fooled. Because he's coming back, and he's coming back by any means necessary to take over. But we have to we must never be caught off guard. Because I'm telling you, he wants to be back, and he wants to be back for a reason. Wow.
Ominous words, eh? So let me tell you.
Could you
You in North America, what you doing about Donald Trump? Because it looks like he coming back.
I think they need to take the other air.
All right, that's enough. I don't want to hear more. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Friday.
You too, and have a good weekend. I'm not going to cause this.
This is the Real Issues, folks. We'll be right back.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway. Call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
487-9849 is the mobile number on which you can WhatsApp call us. Yes, 487-9849. And you can also reach us on the studio direct landline 4533-911. This is The Real Issues. And let me say this quickly before the next call comes in. No elected member of parliament for a constituency should ever refuse or be disinclined to represent the interest, the request, the needs, the complaints of constituents simply because that constituent is known or believed to be supporting a political party other than the one from which that MP, hails, on whose ticket that MP contested the elections to become the representative for that constituency. Secondly, it is no excuse that because you are not in government, that you should not take up the duty it is of advocating for people in legitimate needs that they have, whether for road repairs, whether for electricity, other public utilities, whatever it is that they come to you and they say, look, we have a problem, or the young people come and say, Mr. Representative, please, we need something done about the playing field. It's not a question of pushing your hand in your own pocket. It is a question of, if you are in opposition, you still have a duty to assess the situation. And if it is the Minister of Sports, you have to write. If it is in the parliament, that you have to stand up and speak and say, look, these people in that area, they do not have potable water, they do not have pipe-borne water, they need it, and so on. And you should do that without any regard of what the political leanings of those people are known or believed to be. It is pettiness, it is a dereliction of duty for any member of parliament to refuse to take up the cause of the people that you represent, which is all the people of a constituency, and to take it up with the authorities, with the agencies, whether they be WASCO, whether they be Lucilec, whether they be a ministry, to take it up with Stephenson King, to take it up with Joachim Henry. There is an old lady who has been abandoned by her relatives and she needs help, and whatever it is, Mr. Joachim Henry, that you can send her way, whatever minister responsible for elderly affairs, Moses Jean-Baptiste. It is your duty as an MP to initiate and pursue and follow up on those kinds of interactions for the sake and benefit of your constituents. That is why I'm talking a lot about Miku South, because one does not get the sense that Mr. Alan Shastney is showing that degree of concern and persistence as a member of parliament on behalf of his constituents. I could be wrong, but that's the impression. He comes to the parliament for all kinds of theater and drama, but the day-to-day needs of his constituents, you don't get a sense that this is a priority for him. We have a call on the line. Good afternoon, Real Issues. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Shelton. How are you?
Yeah, hi. How are you doing? Haven't heard that voice in a while.
That's quite true. I've been listening.
What's on your mind today?
Shelton, let me put it this way. I remember earlier on the mentioning of the Integrity Commission was mentioned on your program. And I also remember hearing on the news, is it Nevis? One of the members of parliament in Nevis was given some problems in the claim he's at it. I don't know, you're a man that very in touch. I can say that about you. You probably know what I'm talking about. And he was taken to court. Now, the point I'm trying to make, St. Lucia was one of the first guys who implemented that whole thing. And I thought it was a very good thing. But Shelton, how good is an integrity commission if there's not an enforcement of the law?
Yeah, I don't get a sense. Integrity commission seems to be si l'on vend, si l'on lâche coq penché, that they don't seem to.
Look, if it is a law, and I believe that law has to be reinforced, it has to be given teeth to bite and bite hard, a sharp kind of type of teeth. Because you cannot tell me you work in government, and we witnessed what the last administration did with our money. So there are guys who got rich in this country within this last 5 years. They are millionaires, Sheldon. We know that. We don't have the proof, but we know that. We know the kind of monies that was siphoned from our treasury. We know the airport deal. We can just keep on mentioning. And even so, I didn't hear the program last night, but the amount of offices that went to Mr. Michael Shastney directly, there was no contest, there was no tendering process. So this thing cannot be right, my brother.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping the Prime Minister that was given a mandate, an overwhelming mandate, do what he has to do without fear or favor. We, the taxpayers, want we are the one who employ these people. Don't forget that. Every 5 years, they ask commanded from us. We are the bosses. So I am asking that the Prime Minister give the Integrity Commission teeth to prosecute and arrest, if need be, if there is no compliance. Now, number two, Shalom, I think I'm not the only one that will testify to that. Some guys over the weekend was partying around with some boxes of chicken wings. It couldn't be worse than what actually these things were. The box, a 25-pound box was being sold for $50.
25-pound box of chicken wings for $50, and you didn't give me a call.
No. You would have regretted your life. But let me tell you something.
The chicken was spoiled or something.
No, let me tell you something. That was not chicken wings.
That was what?
That was not chicken wings.
What was
that refused to cook, Sheldon. That refused to cook.
What was it?
If you pressure, you ever know people pressurizing?
No, never know. Never know that. Pressure chicken wings is a soup you're going to get.
I'm telling you, that could stew. Let me tell you something. My staff, a friend of ours, was just saying the same thing. I think the government should investigate that. I think that is rubber chicken wings. Your humble servant bought 2 boxes. I don't even think I'll give it to my dogs because something is not right with that chicken wing. And these things, and that's how people get poisoned. They are going around saying it is local produce, but on the box tells you it's from the USA. But I'm telling you, you can open the line and find out how many people who became victim of those chicken wings. These wings refuse to cook. Okay? Not even if you pressure cook it, it cooks. Okay? And this is the condition.
C'est zel mal fait là, c'est zel bagage.
The chicken wing is the softest part of the chicken. And I like my chicken wings raw. I tell you, I kind of air fry. I'm a little air fry. I'm doing a quick thing My brother, 20 minutes that can cook. I took it out of there, I put it in the oven. To no avail. I have a little dog inside my house. If it used to eat it, I say I never know dogs don't eat chicken wings. So I believe the Ministry of Health, knowing, because I don't know if there are a whole container they have, I think more people will be talking about it. Because, more and more people will be finding out that should never have entered St. Lucia. I am not blaming the Ministry of Health, because if it was certified good and they did not know if it cannot cook or it could cook. But something have to be done in terms of investigating those products that people consume in this country. Thank you, man.
All right, thank you very much. we have to be concerned, not about the sale, but the preparation. Too many people in getting into food service. Are they certified? Do they have the required health, clearance and food preparation certification and that kind of thing? You're going to have people just being everywhere selling for people. What are the standards of hygiene and so on that they adhere to and all of that in terms, are they cooking the food properly? What about the time between when it was cooked and when it is sold and so on, the amount of reheats that it has to go through? We have to think about that. Even places that you would expect. I went to a certain business place that has that deli, and I bought something some time ago, and I said to myself, oh my goodness, even if it had been for free, I would have demanded a refund. It was so badly done. The chicken was hard, it was dry, it was, I just cast that thing on the side. I couldn't bring myself to eat it. You had to chew it. It was all, and I said, come on, a place like that business place established, supposed to have some reputation and respectability. It's like anything you throw, okay, you can just give to people and so on. We need to watch those kinds of things. Now, let me say greetings to a former co-worker of mine in Antigua called Karen Nash. Casey Nash. I hope you're okay if you're listening. I'll come back to you in a while. You shared something on your Facebook, which I think is a very nice quote that I want to share with the audience of the Real Issues. But we have a call on the line. Good afternoon, Real Issues.
Good afternoon, Sheldon.
How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. Sheldon, I was on a bus, and that bus I was on had the radio station on Team Show. And I heard somebody said they listened to Richard last night. They were waiting for the bombshell, and what they heard is nothing, dying nothing, because Richard never read the rest of the documents he had in front of him. I don't know what was to be read at the end of the document. And some guy called and said, oh, there is nothing, they should stop Richard, on things like that. There is nothing about that, people renting from people. They must realize that Alan Chasney is the Prime Minister of St. Lucia.
He was, he was.
He was, sorry.
Don't G on it, don't come and G on us there, Hey, go ahead.
Sorry about that.
Go ahead.
And he's okay. And then he was the Prime Minister, and he's a shareholder of that company. So what that mean? That mean a lot. So, and you remember there was that guy, that Bernard fellow who was president of the Hotel and Tourism Association. When Kenny Anthony was Prime Minister, they said he was related to Kenny.
Is it Bernard or Bowen? Which one?
I think it's Bernard.
Okay.
Bowen or whatever.
Okay, I can't remember. Really.
He's related to Kenny, and he had to resign because Rick Wayne put a lot of pressure on him. The media have put up because related to Kenny, they say conflict of interest. And so what that one is right now. So I want to hear from Rick what he's saying.
Okay.
Because, some people say that ain't nothing, there is no big deal, people renting from your father, you're a shareholder of a company and you're renting for your own self,
Yeah.
So I don't know what some people are talking about, because it's not their party, it's their party that's involved. They're finding that there is no problem in that, and there is a big problem.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you very much.
All right, no problem. Okay. Yeah, the person, I've just gotten a connection. It was Craig Bernard that they were talking about, that he was, and it couldn't have been Hotel and Tourism Association. I think it was Tourist Board that they were talking about at the time, which is now the Tourism Authority. You can't come and protest about somebody being chairman or whatever of the Hotel and Tourism Association. That's a private, an NGO. It's a non-governmental organization, so you can't come. So it must have been, I remember that about Craig Bernard, that they were, I think, planning to make him chairman of the tourist board at the time, and there was, some noise made about that. Thank you very much for that, Julius, for sending me that message. What else do I have there? Someone sent a message saying, remember when Gae. Is it Guy you're trying to say, or Gail? Okay, Gail it must have been. I'm missing the... When Gail was asked about her ownership of 2 new vehicles, SUV and 4x4 truck, her response was, it was gifted to me, you know, and gifts, especially of that value and so on, I'm sure they, by law, have to be declared to the Integrity Commission. All right, I was thinking about something that a former co-worker of mine in Antigua shared on her page, which I thought is a very good quote. It's a quote from someone she names as Hannah Arendt, a German historian and philosopher who lived from 1906 to 1975. And it says this: this constant lying is not aimed at making the people believe a lie, but at ensuring that no one believes anything anymore. A people that can no longer distinguish between truth and lies cannot distinguish between right and wrong. And such a people, deprived of the power to think and judge, is, without knowing and willing it, completely subjected to the rule of lies. With such people, you can do whatever you want. And I mentioned that some time ago, you know, this repeating of things after they have been refuted, after they have been debunked, it is meant to overwhelm our faculties so that, you know, after a while you become jaded, you become indifferent to it because it's repeated so many times. So then you can come and lie and people will just not react to it. They will not bother to analyze it anymore because what you have done is that you have hit them the same spot so many times, you desensitize them. That is why no untruth, no lie must ever remain uncontested. To those who say, oh, we're taking them on, we're giving them too much attention. Not true, my friend. That's what they're aiming at. So a point you become like you couldn't care less, you know, whether it is said or not said, whatever, but it's having an effect on you. We have a call on the line. Good afternoon, Real Issues.
Yes, good afternoon, Shelton. I have to laugh because I just there waiting for you to listen to your comment there. So let me give you, I have information, comment there concerning another situation again. Let me explain that in Castries. Right. You see by the marketing board to go to the garden where they pond the Chinese do.
To go to the what? To the gardens? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what Chinese that in 2006.
Yeah, that's the flood retention pond or something, yeah.
That's correct. The so past the other moment, you see that is always full of water. Because by marketing board to the sea, coming up to reaching somewhere by the main, what name of that main road talking to coming down? By what did stand? Is there one name called that street?
We're coming from where? The main road coming down from the Baptist Church going down to the bus stand where?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay, so that's Darling Road you're talking about.
The Darling Road, right? To connect to the city, we have to Darling Road. That is a gulvet. 2 gulvet that is under it, and they're building a 2 U-box, right? Concrete, and they put the 2 gulvets, and that gulvet is supposed to be sealed by us. Let me explain why. Because they cleaning by the Gozili bus stand, and all the rest of the silt is going direct to the gulvet because the sea not absorb it because the sea prevent it to coming down. So they're supposed to get a machine, whatever they have to get, to seal the gulvet by marketing, but on that is the what you call in the gulvet is because I working on that. That is 2 gulvet they have on the bottom. That's why that's always full. And one day the whole garden going to be full. You know why? Because when that nothing can pass through it again. That what happened is the whole 2 gulvets are going to block. And then we will see by the garden, by the bus and where we say all the fully water people and how they fully water. Because them 2 gulvets are going to be silted at a level where no water can pass through to go to the sea. When you see down, for it to go down, and when it's up, it will in the water. That's what I have. That's what I have done when I get in for today.
Okay.
You understand?
You see that retention pond that you mentioned? This was part of what was called the Castries Flood Mitigation Project.
That's correct.
So the pond was only supposed to be one component of it, so that the water coming down from all those areas, La Panse, you know, all of that, okay, that would gather there. That pond was simply supposed to serve as a collection point to slow down the water, so that the water would not be rushing down, and plus it would have sieves and so on to take out the bigger materials of plastics and those things. and release the water at a controlled rate so that it would go into the underground drains and culverts, as you say, along Jabati Street and all of that before discharging into the harbor. Right.
That's correct.
Right. But the thing is that this was only a part of it. It was supposed to involve pumps. There was supposed to be about 2 or 3 pumping stations to make sure that the water was directed. At the time that was supposed to happen, the government changed. You know, that was around 2006. So UWP come into office, and as is their habit, once it's labor that starts something, is like, we have to stop it. We have to show it was no use. So it never got to the point of being completed for the pumps. So Calix George would be able to tell us a lot about that. So that to get the pumps and the pumping stations and the other, as we would say, ancillaries, you know, that were supposed to make the flood mitigation project work, because it was abandoned. So what we end up having now is basically just the pond, which was never designed to work on its own in terms of being successful in combating the flooding in the city, you know? Yeah.
But if this word that we mentioned now, they have to put it in mind now. It is another project to put it in mind now, because it is important, because you cannot have that polluted water every day, and that stink water always in the same level. And when the high rain, all the roads full of them, that distilled water.
Yeah, a lot of the times once you miss your turn with those projects, whoever was funding them for you, whether it's Caribbean Development Bank or World Bank or whatever, you know, it's like basically the cycle or the project under which they would have funded it. It no longer exists. It has expired. You have to go back and reopen and renegotiate and find new funding agencies. It's not easy like that, you know.
I understand, but because that's supposed to be funded, to my knowledge, and that time, the CDB, because I believe I can't know that power at that time.
I can't even remember.
And as you mentioned, them organizations not longer exist again, so they have to bring everything back new. I understand where you come from.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right. We're almost out of time, folks. I'm not asking for extra time today. Yesterday I took more than half an hour, when it's, you know, going up to 3 and all of that. Richard Frederick may have missed one space. The present space being rented by the current leader of the opposition, I suppose. Isn't that office in a Shastney building? I don't even know. I cannot even off my head tell you where the office of the leader of the opposition is. Hi, caller. You're likely to be our last one, and know that you can get cut off any moment because the lotto might come. So go ahead. Hello. Hello.
Thank you very much. Shelton, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
The concern the last caller brought forward on the pond mitigation, that drain from the gardens to the sea, it is below sea level. When they were constructing that drain, I personally take interest into that drain, and I saw that drain being placed below the sea level. Like
many waterways in Castries, it is like that. That is why the flood mitigation was designed. It was conceptualized to work with pumps, so that the push of the pumps would overcome.
But Shelton, that could never work.
It can work.
That could never work.
It can work. We have to roll now. We have to go. Sorry about that. We'll continue talking about that next week. Okay. All right.
For the midday draw of Friday, 19th July 2024 were double daily grand 1, 3, 8, 17. Big 4, 9, 9, 6, 0. Big 4 multi-X 2X. Pick 2, 0, 1. Pick 2 multi-X 2X. 1 off 9, 4, 8. Lucky 3, 6, 2, 0. Lucky 3 multi-X FP.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system,